pier is not only historic and historic structure, but it is St. Pete. That's our skyline. If you take that pier away, you got nothing out there. Nothing to identify St. Pete. It's in everything that we ever done. It has always been there, and that's how. I think you brought up something about our constituency. That's how the people feel about it. As far as the design competition, we heard about a structural study that was done in 2004. However, there was no competition done to see whom a worldwide search or nationwide search, whom that could preserve what we have at a cheaper price. When this train leaves the station, it's going to top. I think I heard quotes of 50 million, and one of my colleagues said 59 million. But we don't know where the end is going to be. But we know what we have and what we can preserve. But nothing has been presented to me on council as far as preservation of what we have, and a huge asset that belongs to the taxpayers of the city. I was born and raised here. The pier means the world to me. Everybody knows that. And if they know me, they know that. Everybody I've spoken to unequivocally love that pier. They don't want to see nothing happen to that pier. I think that we can do something out there with programming and make some changes. And the survey, the report, I think the first thing that you guys did come up with the fact that we shouldn't be, and this is a quote, we shouldn't be subsidizing for-profit businesses. I think that came out of some of your findings. However, what that pier do for all of the tourism and for St. Petersburg? I mean, I was just reading the obit session this morning on Wengay Wright's grandmother. And one of the most favorite things in the world to do was go up on the top and eat wings and cha-cha coconuts next to wearing her red dress. But everybody has historic memories of that pier, and it's passionate to us as a city. So would hate to see anything happen to it, but I would support anything that the voters would decide that should happen out there. Because if we get into this, and I hope my colleagues hear me, if we do go down this road and it comes out being a lot more cost than what we anticipated and everybody told us about, at least the voters will be on board with that decision. And I'm talking about the decision to demolish the inverted pyramid in the 1926 structure.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
In your mind, the historic, just staying on the subject, because we're going to talk about cost in a minute and everything. In the historic sense, do you view it as as a static element, that what is out there is the historic landmark?
Yes.
And that changes you do is not something that you see as a positive? Or do you see the pier itself, the actual having a pier out there where people can go out and do things, is that more important, or is actually the physical structure the most important for you?
Well, it's been said that the $50 million that was set aside, tax increment money, which is half is Pinellas County and the other half St. Pete, that money was set aside for a pier. That's the only pier I know, unless someone's hiding a pier somewhere else. So that pier, the historic characteristic of it, I think, can be maintained. I think we can do other stuff that for less cost with programming and other upland features that would address that. Like someone came up with a bridge from the Spa Beach over to the Vinoy side. Right now, you got to make a pilgrimage all the way around Beach Drive just to walk that 18 or 16 blocks or whatever it is that it is to get out there. So a lot that could be done that would help for a lot less, or for within the money we have set aside for that. But none of that has been addressed. But I'm just more concerned with make sure we do our due diligence and make sure everything that we can do for what we have. Because we know what we got right now. We got $50 million, and we got a structure out there that they say may last 20, 30 more years. So we know we got that. So we can find a way to preserve that. I think that would be very, very much more important. I think the voters would love it. And also, if it's to be that we have to take this down, take this structure down, as our engineers have said, that they would have a say from that point. So that way, if we do get into cost overruns or things that we don't see, we didn't do this blindly, just 8 of us or 9 of us. It was the whole city. It's similar to what happened with the airport. I mean, that's supposed to be condos, but now that's a very vibrant, Sullivan airport. So I think that, and the voters decided that. This is a huge asset, and it should not be decided by me, let alone any one of us sitting up here. I think, that's my opinion. Everybody should get one vote to say what happened to this. That's way, if we get down this road with all these beautiful designs and things don't go right, then it was the will of the voters, not the will of 7 or 8 elected people.
let's see if, because we'll never get finished.
Right.
Let's see if we can try to hold our comments to the categories and the question inside the red box. I know Mr. Newton's very passionate about the subject, and it's interesting to hear his thoughts, but if we got to stay on task here,
Yes, sir.
it's going to take a while. So did you get an answer from him on that?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Kennedy?